Hi guys, and welcome back to the world of 28mm. I'm Adam, and this is Building Mordheim Part 4.
From this picture you can see that we've worked mainly on the left hand side of the board this time. We were quite happy where the right hand side was, and we really wanted to get down and get those stairs fixed and just secured down. So I've included these first three pictures just to give you an idea of the thought process and how we decided to change it. So we were going to have some stairs coming down originally, and then it would run into the platform, which then ran across the bridging part with the doorway in. But we realised that there just wasn't going to be space to have some stairs in there, so we decided to just go for a straight platform in the end. But before we could do that, we needed to give this platform something to sit on. So in this picture you can see this is how I created that archway, shall we say. We created. So Barney cut it out and I stuck it all together, and as you can see in this picture I've put some polyfiller on the inside just to give it some sort of texture, so when you get down to see those line of sights it won't just look like plain old foam. And in this picture you can see I've glued the doorway in to where it's supposed to be, and I've just used some polyfiller to blend the door into the blue foam and make it look like a rocky structure. Now further back up the board towards the flat section, there was also a gap where once again we needed to build a supporting wall. So you can see this time Barney has engraved a piece of blue foam, I believe it was 5mm, and he's taken another one of those old Warhammer Quest doors and he's just glued it in there. Once that was all completed, we then glued everything down, the archway and Barney's new wall for the back section. Just to note as well, the back section, if you recall from the first picture, there was some polystyrene in there. We've actually taken that out now so that the both of those doorways are usable. You could use them as cover, or you could jump in the room at the back. So once that was all secured down, we could then start constructing the actual platform itself. Disregard the little bits offcuts there, that's going to be used as rubble. So we basically made this out of two sections of 5mm blue foam, each engraved with the same squares that we've engraved the rest of the blue foam with. Once we were happy with the bridge, we then moved on to the stairway. So the stairway itself was too flimsy. We had a few blocks of blue foam underneath, but it wasn't enough to support anything. If you put a lead miniature on it, it would probably bend. It wouldn't break, but it would bend. So I took some old bits of off-cut polystyrene, as you can see in this picture, and I just clad out the side of the door. I know full well that the walkway is going to cover the top. So once that was complete, we then had to cover up that substructure. Now you might remember from last week's episode of using plasticast with your terrain, then you might find this picture familiar. So this is how we blended it all together. So we've used the plasticast, and I'll put a link up in the top corner so that you can go and check out the video. But we've covered all of that substructure with Woodland Scenics rock molds and just blended it all in. This also conforms with the other part that we did at a different, I think, earlier session, maybe the second or third update. We had that cliff rock face on the inside. So it just helps to blend all of that together. Now the problem with this part was doing under the stairway was that because this is going to be a modular board, you have to take into account all of these sections are going to be put together at some point. If you have some rocks protruding from your structure, then obviously your boards aren't going to fit together. So always remember that if you've got a modular board that you can turn around in different setups, you need to make sure it all sits flush. So with the rock faces done and the walkway almost there, we then started on to the steps. The steps was simply made with, once again, 5mm blue foam. It had all of the same engravings again as the rest of the board did with the squares, and there was nothing really special to this. We didn't cut any angular steps for the corner, anything like that. We cut them all at the same length and then literally just glued them together step by step and cut off any excess that was on the inside. and that was just secured down using some plain old latex glue. After the stairs were secure, we then decided to start on the bridge that would connect the two sections together. So we made an archway just out of blue foam again. We doubled it up though and made the two 5mm into a 10mm sheet, and then engraved the same brickwork that we have done onto other sections. We then cut out a piece of blue foam again that was a complete length of that, and then we literally just carved it down the middle and make it look like it was broken. We also used those pieces that we cut out from the middle, and we're just going to lay them down at the bottom. I haven't secured them down yet because I'm going to put some little bits of rubble underneath, blend it all in nicely. And this last picture just gives you an overview of that section. As a couple of little caveats, the main walkway section on the left where the skeleton is standing, it's got pins in at the minute, but we're going to leave that so that you can take it off, because if you can't take it off you lose the room that we've made underneath. So that little section there is going to be detachable. And also the wall that sits on the right hand side of the walkway has also since been cut out, and we've put another one of the Warhammer Quest doorways in there.
And there you go guys, that's building Mordheim Part 4. I hope you've enjoyed this instalment. Like it if you've liked it, share if you think anyone else would like to see it, and don't forget to subscribe for the next episode. Have fun guys.